Welcome back to the second episode of the Sports Syllabus Show. I'm your host, John Shakota, and I'm joined by my co-host,
Luke Young.
And on today's episode, the syllabus for today, we'll be talking mainly about the NFL and our reactions to the week 3 or 4. Was it 3? 3 games. Our reactions to, the Bears, everything in the NFL. But I want to start with the Bears, Luke, if that's okay with you.
Yeah, that works.
Do you think Caleb Williams is a bust?
No, it's for 3 games.
Exactly.
3 games.
It's so annoying. People are like saying this dude's terrible. If you watch the film, like I said last time, he's gotten better every game.
I just think people have unfair expectations for him, obviously. I mean, like, calling him one of the greatest prospects ever coming out, like, comparing him to Patrick Mahomes before he even played an NFL snap, it's absurd. And then the Bears so focused on so much, like, getting him a system and getting him weapons because they didn't do that with Fields, and now they didn't focus on their O-line. I mean, like, instead of signing 3 receivers, or drafting 3 receiver, they could have drafted a receiver and then signed more offensive line, or they could have signed Keenan Allen and got an offensive line in the draft. But
I agree. I think because, yes, you want to have good 3 receivers, but what's more important, having a good receiving core or having a O-line that can protect your quarterback? Because you have a good receiving core, but if your O-line can't protect your quarterback, then there's no point.
Yeah. I also believe that Eberflus is not, if not the worst, I think the worst coach in the league.
Oh, my God.
I just don't think that his system that he's put in has worked for Caleb. Usually offensive coordinators will put in a system where if they know their offensive line can't block, they will put in a system where they will get like screens and like rollouts and all these things for Caleb to do. And the other problem, it's also Caleb's fault too. Also,
yeah, no, people are doing it. So Eberflus is not a great coach. Their offensive coordinator is not good, and I think it's just a combination of that. And then Caleb's letting that get to him, which sucks because he's supposed to be this great guy, and the Bears I don't think he's a bust. I'm saying he may not be as good as he's supposed to be because the Bears are already messing with him mentally already with him saying, with him, because he'll overthink. He's just going to overprocess, which is not good. You want him to think, you want him to process, you want him to make reads, but you don't want him to overprocess and overthink because then he'll make these dumb turnovers.
Yeah, I also think the problem is he still thinks he's like the fastest guy in the field and he can outrun all these defensive linemen and linebackers.
You're in a different. I agree with that. I think he's gotten better with it, but through the first 2 weeks especially, he was trying to make a lot of Superman plays. Last week he didn't really do that as much, but he's got to realize he's in the NFL. These are grown men.
Yeah,
like these guys.
Yeah, he tries to extend the plays similar to what Mahomes does by scrambling around and trying to dodge dudes. He's just not fast enough, and he's just making it too hard on himself. They just gotta simple it down. I think they gotta change the system a little bit. They gotta create simpler throws for him. And the other problem with the Bears is they can't run the ball.
No,
Montgomery is not good enough for them to like.
Yes.
So the teams aren't worried about the run. So they just already Swift.
Yeah, no, you're good.
They already know that they're gonna have to pass to create any sort of offense. So the running game is not a threat to any defense.
Exactly, which is so frustrating because as a Bears fan, that's been our pride since I was younger. We've always had a good run game, and I'm also frustrated because they don't use Roschon Johnson, which I don't understand. They put him in the game finally last week, and he was breaking out 9, 10-yard runs.
Yeah, and Indianapolis is also like the worst run defense in the league. The Packers ran all over them last week,
and the Bears did nothing.
Yep. I just think that.
You can go.
I don't know. I just don't think that this Bears offense, they focused too much on the receiving core trying to build around Williams, and they didn't focus on the right areas, in my opinion. I think they should have if they were going to pay Swift that much money, they should have just gone and got Saquon, in my opinion. And then
because
they didn't have to get Keenan Allen. I just don't think Keenan Allen, he's already out. I just don't think he's made enough impact.
I agree. But I also think, Keenan Allen, we saw how important he was for Herbert. I don't know why I was blanking on his name. But I feel like they were saying on one of the broadcasts, how important he is for younger quarterbacks and to develop. Which
he's already hurt.
Yeah. So he's helping Caleb develop off the field, but it also gives him confidence because like you're throwing I mean, I think Keenan Allen should be a Hall of Famer. If he's got, I think he's got to have a few more good seasons. But whatever, borderline Hall of Famer, Hall of Fame, whatever you want. He's one of the best receivers. He's one of the best people at his job currently. So having a dude who's still adjusting to this new thing is good to have someone like that who's been he's a veteran. He knows what he's doing. Where I think DJ Moore, he's been real frustrated just because you've seen multiple plays where Caleb thought he was running a comeback, he's running a streak, or he just keeps on throwing it like they're not on the same page.
Yeah, I think Moore misses Fields a little bit.
That's what I think. I think too. I think eventually they'll get on this. I mean, I hope they get on the same page because we saw when DJ Moore's on the same page with this quarterback, what can happen.
Yeah, if we're gonna stick with that game, I think the Colts are in a tough spot as well. I mean, Richardson's like got the lowest ceiling, lowest floor, highest ceiling type guy. I mean, like if you create a highlight tape, he'll look like the best quarterback in the league. But if you actually watch the games, he really struggles. That pick in the end zone, he threw it into 3 Bears.
That was awful.
That had to be the worst pick I've ever seen.
That was
and it was just like he's great when like the play breaks down. He gets to use his athleticism and his instincts just to create a play.
You saw that play where he legit turned into a running back and tried to run over Kevin Byard.
Yeah.
Like, he has those plays where he turns into, I don't want to say Superman, but he kind of does because he makes something out of nothing. Like, you'll see like that terrible interception, and then he had a 30, 40-yard bomb to Alex Pierce. So, like, it's like, I feel like, I don't want to relate it a lot to Justin Fields, but, like, it's like with Justin Fields. Like, the past few years, you've had those plays where you're like, this guy can be our quarterback for. But then you have those interceptions and those turnovers where it's like, do I really want this guy?
Yeah, I think Richardson has 8 interceptions through 3 weeks, which is an absurd pace.
Yeah. Let me look right now, actually. But you can keep on.
I believe that's correct. I'm glad that Jonathan Taylor's still there. I mean, he's a stud. He was a stud in college.
Yeah.
Had a tough year with the contract thing. That was kind of tough. Then he got hurt. But I think he's doing well. He had 110 rushing yards in that game, so clearly he's doing his part. I just think that Richardson's just got to calm down for them if they're going to start winning games. Also, their defense is just atrocious. They can't stop the run. The Packers had 200 rushing yards to them on the first half. I can't believe the Bears couldn't. The Bears running backs are averaging 2 yards per carry combined, and it's just the running game's not there, and then they were playing the worst running game, so maybe like they would have a good game against this Colts front line, but they were so bad.
And so Richardson has 6 interceptions to three passing touchdowns. But 2 a game, like that's not something you want to see. And I was looking at my notes right now. Watching that Monday night game with Jayden Daniels just makes me so frustrated because like when he has a competent offensive play caller, like, did you see that video of Shane Waldron where he's legit shaking? He was shaking to call a play.
Yeah.
Like, and Cliff Kingsbury has made Jayden Daniels.
Yeah.
You just missed didn't complete 2 passes like on Monday night. Like, that's, for a rookie alone, is insane.
Now, it's a pretty decent Bengals defense, too.
Exactly. And he made smart decisions. He's looking, and then he's like, no, okay, I got to go run.
I think Kingsbury's pretty good because he had Kyler when he was in college, and then Kyler in the Arizona, and Kingsbury was around when Kyler had his best years, and I think he works well with those young, athletic quarterbacks who can run and pass. And I think he's been a really, really key part to Daniels' success. But I also think Daniels just has it as long as he doesn't get crunched by some 250-pound linebacker,
which is the worry because he's so small.
He clearly. I don't want to say he's figured it out, but clearly he's so dynamic on the run that teams are so worried about him, like running that they're underrate the pass. The pass to McLaurin is just a dot on the right side.
That ball was
unbelievable.
Like, you couldn't put it in a better spot.
Yeah, while he was getting hit too, there's a guy in his face just throwing darts.
It's also impressive too because especially when it's a rookie, you don't expect them to be able to make a good throw while they're knowing they're going to get rocked.
Yeah.
And he got rocked and put that right in the breadbasket.
Yeah, I always compare Jayden Daniels in college to Spider-Man. You know, from Into the Spider-Verse when Spider-Man says, Spider-Man always gets up. Jayden Daniels takes the hardest hits I've ever seen. Like, it seems like every time he gets a hit, it's like the hit that you see like on a montage of like people are like, oh, NFL's back, and everyone's just getting laid out, and he always gets up. And one day I think it's going to catch up to him. So hopefully this is not like an RG3 situation for the Commanders fans.
I was about to say that.
And I hope that he can have a long career because he's definitely fun to watch. I have him on a fantasy team. It was kind of like a risky pick, and he's unbelievable for me. So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, also, like, you're just a fan of the game. Like, you want to see guys like that.
He's so dynamic.
You just want to – you want those guys make not only, yes, it's good for business, but it's also good because – those guys are what make people want to watch. Like,
yeah,
we've changed. The NFL has changed so much in 20 years. Like, a guy back then, if you see someone like Jayden Daniels or Michael Vick, even because that was kind of when Michael Vick. I don't know if he was 20 years ago. Maybe that's a little, but those guys when Michael Vick was sort of the first kind of do everything kind of quarterback. And just how dominant he was when he was good, but then, prison and stuff happened.
Yeah.
But just seeing that's just more intriguing, more interesting to watch than just a quarterback who sits in the pocket. Now, I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I'm just saying it's more enjoyable from a fan perspective to watch someone running around making these crazy plays, throws.
Yep. Yeah, if we're going to stick on that game, we got to talk about the Bengals. Obviously, 0-3. I mean, it seems like they start 0-3 every single year. But this year seems a little different because there's kind of high hopes coming into the year. I mean, Chase didn't get the contract, but he's playing. Burrow's back, finally. T. Higgins dealing with some injuries, but he's back. So they were kind of like thinking, we're just going to run through this Commanders defense, that's terrible. Even though the Commanders offense was so great, they still let up 3 points at the Bengals. But the Bengals just could not get it done. And it seemed like they had a good game, but I don't know. Jayden Daniels just destroyed them, honestly.
Yeah, I think Jayden Daniels just like outplayed Joe Burrow. I don't know how else to say it. Like, he just had a better game.
Well, Burrow had 330 passing yards, so it wasn't Burrow's fault. It seemed like definitely the defense struggled against Daniels.
Burrow's been good this year. Like, people are not talking. Like, he outplayed Mahomes.
Yep.
And people just think Mahomes is better just because he won. That's not true.
It's weird. The Bengals could be. It feels like the Bengals should be 2-1. I mean,
I agree.
They were this close against the Chiefs, and then I don't know what that Patriots loss was about. That was so weird. In retrospect, but I'm not out on them whatsoever.
Me neither.
I think the Packers last year were 3-6 and they made the playoffs. Okay, so I think the Burrow and Chase can figure it out. They have a great coach, and if they don't, I think it's going to be a tough year for that franchise.
I agree. I think this has been the thing with when Zach Taylor has been the coach for the Bengals. Sorry, I'm getting hiccups. When he's been the coach for the Bengals, they always struggle early in the year. Now they haven't been 0-3 since 2019, but still, a lot of people are just. I think people are overreacting just because I think they were shocked at how good the Commanders, I was about to say Guardians, about how good the Commanders were. Because, yes, Dan Quinn's a good coach, but his issue is can they hold leads? Because, even in Dallas when he was a D coordinator, they still blew leads. So that was the issue. And they didn't, they almost did sort of, but it felt like they were just in control of that whole game. And I think an underrated part of their game is their running backs. Eckler and Brian Robinson Jr., that's a good running back duo, especially for Jayden Daniels, who, like we were talking about last time, you always want to have someone coming out of the backfield to help with. It's just because that's the easiest, that should be in theory the easiest throw for a quarterback to make. Because you literally usually just throw it to the side. Yep. So, and having Eckler who can kind of balance that, because Robinson's more of a runner, physical runner. Eckler can kind of do a little bit of everything. Now, he does have a concussion, but I think they also are built really good. I know I'm a Bears fan, yes. So I'm going to compare it to the Bears. The Bears have a very good offense, talent, but their O-line is, you need an O-line, and even if they have more talent in the backfield and more talent around them than the Commanders do with Jayden Daniels, the Commanders at least have a relatively competent O-line.
Yeah.
And they added they got their center from the Cowboys. Like they've added. The Bears are just banking on them sort of.
Yeah, it's weird. If you look at the box score of this game, obviously, like, I encourage people to watch the games because that's how you're really going to understand what happened. The Bengals lead in almost every single category in this game. And
exactly.
I don't know, the Commanders pulled it out and just figured it out.
Yeah. I think, well, Eckler had a big run that, like...
And the long pass from Daniels.
Were you watching that? Where Eckler, it was like he was in up, and then just a gap opened up outside, and he just took it to the house.
Yeah.
So some of those are, I don't want to say luck, but sometimes there's nothing, and then they wait. You just a snap of the fingers, and it's.
Yeah, if you want to stick to Monday night, we can talk about the Bills and
my God.
And the Jaguars. Another 0-3 team that shouldn't be 0-3, honestly. Well, I don't know. I feel like the
really
Bengals don't deserve 0-3 more than the Jaguars. But
no, the Jaguars have been looked. Sorry, do you want to keep on going?
Yeah, I mean, they didn't look great. I mean, what happened? What's going on with Lawrence? I mean, got that contract, had one good year.
And when he was drafted, he was supposed to be the next. I heard a lot of next Peyton Manning.
Yeah,
like he's not bad. He's just not good.
This year just doesn't seem like he's clicking whatsoever.
I think
the pick to Damar Hamlin that is the worst thing I've ever seen. Like,
did you see how open Brian Thomas was too?
Yeah, like that should be an easy just boom catch throw go.
Like okay, I would expect that from like a rookie maybe because you're in Buffalo. It's a hard place to play. But Lawrence, you are. Would you call him a veteran? Because he's been.
I would. Yeah, I could. I mean, he has to be experienced. I mean, he started every single year since he came in. So.
And he just that was terrible.
Yeah.
And it wasn't even like it was uncatchable. Like the dude jumped and couldn't catch it.
Yeah.
Like I don't know how you do that. And then I'm not saying. I mean, the Jaguars are bad. Like, they look bad, but the Bills look... That offense...
Yeah.
Like, they weren't even trying in the second half.
Yeah, people were worried about Josh Allen not having enough weapons. The thing about Josh Allen is he is the weapon. He will make people better around him. Like...
James Cook.
You would lose one of the best receivers in the league. You think, oh, you're going to go back on offense. Now they just have these 4 guys that all friends with Josh Allen, and it's like they're all figuring it out. And
exactly.
I think Coleman was a great. Well, he didn't have. I don't think he had that good of a game, but
I mean, he had a touchdown. So
Coleman, he's still a great pick, and I think James Cook is so underrated.
James Cook is one of the most underrated backs, I think, in the NFL. I don't know why. I mean,
he was going so late in fantasy drafts, and I was just like, I'm seeing him sitting there like. You guys realize that he's going to be the RB number 1 for the bank or for the number 1 offense in the league, right?
They have a very good. People don't talk. They have a good old line. Like Deion Dawkins is a good tackle.
Yeah, they scored 21 points in the second quarter.
Exactly, and in the first half, if you can, I think that they needed maybe, but they were 5 for 5 or something in the red zone.
Yeah,
which is unheard of. And also, Joe Brady their offensive coordinator has done a great job of calling plays. Like he was at LSU with the 2019 team, so he had that. Then he went to Carolina with Matt Rule, and he didn't do that good. And then he came here, and who was their coordinator before Brady? After Dable?
I can't remember.
He was bad, but ever since Brady took over last year, they've just been clicking.
I also think Josh Allen's more free now. I think Diggs was a guy who put so much pressure on him to get him the ball.
Yeah.
And I think Josh Allen's like, I'm the veteran here, and these receivers are so young. I mean, I'm going to do what I want with the ball here, and I'm going to disperse it in a way. And we were talking about MVP last week. I think Josh Allen right now should be the favorite for MVP. I think he's led his team to 3 wins, and I don't see them. Look at their schedule here.
I think if you put someone else who doesn't have Josh Allen's skill set in the Bills roster, I don't think he would do this good because the touchdowns were to 4 different people. Like he's not favoring I think his number 1 receiver is probably Shakir, but even then it's not like he's favoring any like once like he was with Diggs,
Yeah, they have a pretty tough schedule coming up. The Ravens, obviously not pretty good, really good team. They're 1-2, but they're really good. Lamar is MVP.
1-2 is undermining how good
Yeah,
they are.
they were one catch away from being the Chiefs.
Yeah.
Seems like all the teams are.
Yeah.
And then they have the Texans who got throttled by Minnesota, and then the Jets, Titans, Seahawks, Dolphins, Colts, Chiefs, and then their bye. So I definitely think they could win majority of those. We'll see how they do against the Chiefs. Obviously, that's like the marquee game, probably like AFC Championship preview. But I don't know. It'll be interesting to see if they play well against some of these good teams coming up, and if these teams with good defenses can do well against their receivers. We'll see if Josh Allen and James Cook can just like Superman their way into wins.
Because I think everything starts with Allen and Cook.
Yep.
Like, those are two weapons, and they're both in the backfield. If you can shut down, like, Cook, he doesn't run for crazy yards, but he's just so explosive, and he can do everything. He can receive out of the back. Like, he's a good, people don't talk about, I feel like when they talk about James Cook, they don't talk about his receiving. Like, he had a 30-plus yard touchdown catch against the Dolphins 3 weeks ago, maybe?
2 weeks ago. Yeah, he had 48. He had more receiving yards than rushing yards in this game. 48-39. And yeah, they just have a bunch of guys you would never like think would be good, but Khalil Shakir, stud, had 72 yards.
He's so underrated.
It's so spread out here. I mean, like,
and
everybody.
Right, didn't Shakir catch every pass that was thrown to him?
Yeah, he went 6 for 6.
Yeah, which I feel like now so many people not.
Yeah.
I think that's just not many people go 6 for 6. Like,
yeah,
a lot of people they'll drop a few, but
no, but they're just so spread out. I mean, like, it's kind of like just like strength in numbers type thing for the Bills this year, where like in the past where they were so like star-studded, you would think. But I think if you're a Bills fan, I'd be a little worried because Josh Allen, when he gets in these big games, he tries to win the game by himself just a little bit.
I agree.
And that's when he starts to do those mistakes, the interceptions.
That was his issue last year. He was great, but he turned the ball over so much.
Yeah, no interceptions in this game.
And like that game, it's a game that didn't mean much. Like, yes, you want to win, but he looked so calm and he was making the right, and he was fast. He was doing quick scans and then making the right read. I feel like like you said, in the big games, he just goes and is like, okay, everyone back away, it's me. And then he was making smart plays with like he was he got a first down and then slid.
Yeah.
Which usually
he just keeps going.
He keeps going. Which that's the issue with him and Anthony Richardson is now obviously there's a skill gap, but their issue is they just want to run through people, which that's good. That fires your team up.
Yeah.
But it also does not, because you could, like, didn't Richardson, did they break his collarbone last year or something?
Yeah, it was collarbone.
You could do that, and then you're out for the season.
Yeah, we even this game was so over that we even saw Mac Jones get some snaps.
Yeah.
But Trevor Lawrence was bad. 21 for 38, 178, one interception. He was sacked 4 times, while Josh Allen was sacked 0 times. So it was a tough day.
And it was a lot of Jaguars hurting themselves. They had some terrible penalties.
Yeah.
This one dude, their O-lineman, number 72, Little, maybe was his last name, and they were, I think, 4th and like 3, and then he got they were in the red zone. He got a false start, and then another false start, and they went back, and then they had to take the field goal. Like, in those situations, you can't do that because, one, you're in a hostile and you're away. You're in, and you're also playing in a very hard place to play at in Buffalo, and I don't know. Like, I feel like last year the hype around the Jaguars was pretty legit. This year
they have a lot of talent.
They do, and like Evan Ingram's one of the most underrated tight ends, I feel like, in the league. I feel like ever since he left the Giants, he's been say that's a lot with a lot of people when they leave the Giants.
Yeah,
they get really good. We all knew
Ingram was out in this game.
That also hurts because I think that's his. Even though they have Gabe Davis and Christian Kirk and ETN and everyone, I think Ingram is still his number one guy.
Yeah, ETN's been a little disappointing.
I agree.
He was going really high in fantasy drafts. Obviously, really one of the best running backs in the league. 11 attempts for 68 yards in this game. Not terrible, but when they're losing, they're just not going to get him the ball. And he's a good receiving, but I just think for what people expected out of this team, I think they've been pretty disappointing in my opinion.
I think they are one of the most disappointing teams.
Yeah.
Along with, I don't want to say the Ravens because just how they just the score says different.
Yeah.
But they manhandled the Cowboys. Henry had did you see that? I know you saw that stiff arm.
Yeah. He's definitely seems rejuvenated. Like last year on the Titans, he didn't really seem like he wanted to be there very much, and clearly that's true. But now he's, I don't know. They got to hold on to those leads. Like they were up so
they did
far
that against, they've just blown leads.
Yeah,
and if you want to, everyone talks about the Bengals, the Ravens as this team that can win the Super Bowl and stuff.
I think they can.
You can't win the Super Bowl if you blow leads.
Yeah, they were up 28-6.
Exactly. And Henry was rushed for what, 150 and just I can't picture being a linebacker or a corner. You're a corner, you got to tackle that dude.
Yeah. It was 25 attempts for 151 yards, 2 touchdowns. So definitely a prime Derrick Henry game, like throwback kind of. Mm-hmm. But yeah, they're definitely a fun team to watch because Lamar, every single time he gets the ball, I feel like he could run for like 30 yards. And then Derrick Henry will just run people over. And then Zay Flowers, I think he's done a great job with not really having a second receiver.
I agree.
I feel like he's open all the time.
Yeah. And he's so quick and so agile.
Yeah.
People don't. I feel like his quick movements, his lateral movements, is such an underrated part. But there's the reason why he can turn a 10-yard gain into a 30-40. It's because he's so quick and he's so agile.
Yeah, he kind of scares me sometimes though. I feel like similar to Daniels, the Jayden Daniels we were talking about. I feel like every single time Zay Flowers gets hurt or gets hit, it looks like he's going to get hurt.
Yeah, because
he's small.
He's small.
Yeah,
he's not as one of those kind of bigger
receivers like Marvin Harrison or something like that.
When you think wide receiver ones, usually they're taller, bigger guys. Or even like DJ Moore, he's the wide receiver one. Yeah. But he's big. He's a big dude.
So is Keenan Allen. Keenan Allen's pretty big too. But Zay's one of those quick guys.
Yeah. So that's the only issue with him. But that's the same with Lamar.
Yeah. Zay Flowers only had one catch in this game.
Yeah,
for 3 yards. But Justice Hill had a good game.
Yeah, no, Justice Hill is
very rush heavy game.
It's I think Hill and Henry are a great running back, kind of like the Commanders with Robinson and Eckler. Is Henry's he's more than Robinson is, but he's that guy. He'll run you down. He'll tire you guys out. Then you run a play action. You throw it to Hill out of the backfield, and Hill I feel like it's underrated, but he's a fast, good receiving back.
Yeah, it says Flowers. He had 3 catches for 20 yards. I was reading the rushing stats. But Nelson Aguilar, 56-yarder, pretty good. I'd say a pretty good game for Lamar and Henry.
Lamar, that was the thing with Lamar is can he throw the football?
It's so weird that they can't close these games out. Also, their whole game plan should be rushing, so they just run the clock constantly.
Exactly.
It's just weird that they choke these games sometimes, especially to this weird Dallas team.
Yeah,
and we saw CD and Dak fighting on the sideline.
Yeah, CD they were they're winning and you're beating the team good when the receivers
CD turns into Diggs.
Yeah, when they are. I feel like that with any team though. Yeah. When those top 2 guys on offense are butting heads.
Yeah. Prescott actually had a decent game.
He threw for 379.
It was 379. He had 51 attempts because they were losing the whole game. Mm-hmm. But CD did not have a good game. 4 catches for 67 yards.
Yep, got him on my fantasy team, so that was awesome.
That's probably why he was pissed on the sideline.
Yeah, because, CD, you need to, they did a great, Marlon Humphrey did a great job of shutting him down, but if you're the Cowboys, you need to try and get CD Lamb the ball because you get him the ball, that opens.
He's their only receiver.
Yeah, but that also opens up the playbook. You can because then they're going to be focused on him. You got Brandon Cooks, who's not a bad receiver. You got Turpin. You got these speed guys that can help you get these plays in the red zone. Where yes, they don't have a running back, which I still don't know why they didn't sign Henry, but I think you need to throw to CD Lamb because you need to get. He's the reason your offense is so successful because he sets up so many other people. People don't understand. I feel like with a lot of wide receiver ones, if you can shut that wide receiver one out of the game, you have such a higher chance of winning because that wide receiver one sets up chances for the other players, which is how you get these guys like Jawan Jennings, who last week he was a weapon, but he's always been a good wide receiver 3. So this is how you get those guys.
Could have been Super Bowl MVP last year if they would have won it.
I agree. But like you need to have that wide receiver 1 because in a sense they make those other guys who they are.
Yeah.
They make them those players that are kind of.
Yeah, the Cowboys are always an interesting case study. Honestly, they manhandle the Browns in Week 1 and then just get destroyed by the Saints at their home field, and then. This is basically a blowout. I mean, the Ravens led for 3.5 hours, and then they just kind of gave it up.
It was a blowout. Cowboys fans will say, "No, we didn't get blown out." Yes, you did.
It'll be interesting to see if they carry anything over to the postseason, whether negative or positive.
Yeah, because the Cowboys, they always lose in either the first or second round. I think it's not going to change at all. I don't know why they always lose because they have one of the best offenses usually every year.
Yeah,
and their defense.
I don't think their offense is very good this year. I mean, if Ezekiel Elliott is getting actual carries for you in 2024,
no. Zeke is he showed last year he's good, but he's not what he used to be.
Yeah.
But he's kind of done a good job of changing his game style to sort of what a running back is now, where you can receive, and I feel like he got a lot of receptions last year.
Yeah, he also gained a lot of weight.
Yeah, that's the thing though. Which for a run, there's a difference between gaining weight with his muscle and fat. Yeah. So
that's why when we were watching those training camp videos, he always had the sleeves on.
Yeah.
The sweatshirt on, and it was 1,000 degrees. I think he was trying to lose weight during that.
I agree.
Because I don't think he was expecting getting called up for such an important role, especially with the Cowboys. It's kind of interesting that they did that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just think that Caleb, I just said Caleb. That Dak needs a running game.
Dak is so weird because
he has these games where he's legit, and then he just
he if you look at his numbers, he's bona fide top 5 quarterback. But you think about him, you're and you watch him, and it's you're always just kind of nervous, and he just doesn't.
Yep,
he's very Jason Tatum for me because
I agree.
Tatum you watch him, and he's great.
That's a great analogy.
But then. You just don't want to put him in the level with the similar guys like Lamar or Mahomes. Mahomes is on his own level, but I'm saying the greats.
I get what you're saying.
The greats in the league.
Yeah.
He's just not on that level, but also he's good enough. I feel to lead them into the playoffs. Mm-hmm. But their running game is so bad. I just don't think it's gonna happen this year.
Yeah, you need in order to be a good playoff team, you need to have some sort of a running game. Yeah. And like you said with Tatum. I think if they had an Olympic football team,
Dak would be the one sitting on the bench.
Dak would be the one handing out the drinks,
the
and
waters.
Stuff.
Yeah.
But I want to get back to the Caleb Williams thing because I feel like people are I know we kind of talked about how they're overreacting, but people don't understand. He threw for 363 yards and 2 touchdowns.
2 interceptions too.
2. I was about to say, but
how many times has he sacked?
4?
Let me pull it up.
But I'm a Bears fan. I've never seen a rookie quarterback throw for over 300 yards. And yes, he threw the ball 52?
Yeah, he was sacked 4 times.
Yeah, 51 or
52 times. So
yeah,
because their running game is so bad.
Exactly. So yes, he had a lot of throws, but he still threw for 363 yards. Now I know people say, "Oh, the Hail Mary at the end of the first half." Oh.
Yeah, well, it does count.
It counts. And you saw him. I feel like the second half, I want to say he was starting to kind of find a connection. I think that him and Rome connection. I know it's one game, but it looks like the first few games they were kind of struggling.
Yeah,
that game it looked like they were starting to kind of get in a flow, which excites all the Bears fans because you want that. You drafted Rome for a reason. To be your future.
Plus, I think they're best friends.
I do too. Yeah.
Yeah, Williams, he was definitely given the opportunity, but Swift, 13 attempts for 20 yards.
Oh my God, I saw this stat.
Rashawn Johnson had 8 attempts for 30, so he should definitely get the ball more often.
I saw this stat. The other day.
Caleb Williams also had a fumble.
Yeah. That one, but if you watch it, like, I know I'm making excuses for him, but if you watch that, that's his blind. That's he's like, his back is facing that guy. He's expecting his blocks to hold for a little longer. Yeah. So that one, yes, I know it's bad, but you can't you can't blame him for that because
No, I mean, you just got to give it some time. I mean, I really think this year is going to be like a good lesson for most of these teams to like sit your guys the first year.
Yes, I agree because you've only seen Daniels. I think Daniels has been the only
That's
really...
like an outlier. There's one year that every single year there's going to be an outlier like Stroud was last year.
And
Daniels
I think this year
is going to be
this year. Daniel, yeah. Because Bo Nix... Sorry for cutting you off.
No, you're fine.
I think Bo Nix...
Hey, talk about the Broncos. Great win.
Yeah, that was... And Nix looked really good.
Yeah.
I wish I could... God, I hate talking about this stuff because, like, I feel like it's the Bears, dude.
Yeah.
Like, every team gets a rookie quarterback. Like, you're telling me that Bo Nix...
Yeah, you had the best prospect, too.
Yeah, that Bo Nix is better than freaking Caleb Williams.
3 games. 2-3 games, maybe.
Well,
I would say Caleb Williams has been better, but I think Nix had the better game.
I agree. I totally agree.
Yeah.
But it's just so frustrating because people are just talking about how bad Caleb has been, which, like, he's not. It's
all right, John. It's all going to work out in the end.
It will.
It has to.
Should.
It has to. He's way too good. He was way too good in college for him not to be good.
He's way too good for the Bears' garbage system to ruin him.
Yeah. I don't know.
That's the Bears.
I just think that he was way too good in college. I mean, he had like 45 interceptions his junior year. So, like, not interceptions, touchdowns. Sorry.
Yeah. And his senior year, I think a lot of people were worried just because it looked like he didn't care.
Well, his defense did allow like 50 points a game, so he had to score like 60 by himself.
Yeah.
For them to like even win. But if we're going to talk about your favorite team, we're going to talk about my favorite team.
Oh yeah,
Pack is back, baby. Who needs Jordan Love to win games? No, I'm just kidding. We need Jordan Love to win games.
Willis looks very
well. I think Matt LaFleur so far has been coach of the year.
I mean,
think his system that he's put in for Malik Willis to not do like super hard stuff, and he doesn't throw the ball like over 10 yards.
Yeah,
always handing it off. I mean, Malik Willis did throw for 202 today.
Yeah,
13 for 19, but his longest was 37.
Yeah, that was to Watson.
That wasn't like a 37-yard like bomb.
No,
it was like a run
after the catch.
And using his legs, he's so physically dominant. I think
that's what made him such an interesting draft prospect. He was one of those guys who can get out of the pocket and run. And also, I do agree. I think Matt, even though I hate the Packers, LaFleur has done a great job. Like, you're having Willis throw the ball 19 times a game for your quarterback's throwing for barely 200 yards, and you're winning that game. Now, yes, it's the Titans. Yes, Will Levis is garbage, but also added the Packers defense that week on fantasy.
Yeah, so did I.
I think I'm gonna do.
Take whoever plays the Titans for defense.
That's right.
I'm taking the Niners this year or this week because they're playing the Patriots. So
yeah.
But Emmanuel Wilson's been a great standout for the Packers. I mean, the backup running back. A.J. Dillon goes down. We got to find this other guy. 50 rushing yards, and he had a receiving touchdown. So he's been a great bright spot. I think the Packers found another way they can have this two-headed monster that they had last year.
Yeah, they've done a great job.
And I think Jacobs has been really good.
I feel like I don't know what your expectations were with the Jacobs.
I thought it was like
Jones.
A lateral move.
That's what I was going to say.
I think they were on the same level.
I
thought
Jacobs
Jones was a little better, but older and more expensive. So I thought
agree.
Jacobs was like kind of like a good find.
I think Jacobs can have some more explosive run plays.
Yeah.
Where Jones can...
I don't know. I think Jones is pretty explosive. He's like one of the shiftiest guys I've ever seen. I always thought he was underrated.
Jacobs is a lot more of a physical sort of...
Yeah. Also, for this week, I think for the Packers, I think Jordan Love is going to play.
Yeah, that's what I've seen.
Because this is kind of like a huge game because the Vikings.
Oh,
so this is a big game. So this is basically like... This is a huge NFC North game because there's obviously the Lions still sitting there. The Bears are basically out.
Yeah,
so
sadly.
I think that 3 NFC North teams could make the playoffs, honestly.
I know. The NFC North, even if the Bears, I hope they don't keep up this garbage, but it should be a very competitive division this year. Like, I'm not saying they all will, but going into the season, I think a lot of people thought that, is it possible for your whole division to make the playoffs?
No. I don't think so.
I don't. Yeah, that's. But
because
I
there's
think
not enough wins to go around.
But I think a good amount, like you said, I think 3 NFC North teams could make the playoffs.
Well, people were saying that the Bears are going to win the NFC North. And the Packers are going to get third. Here we are, folks.
I was never one of those people. I thought they were going to be a playoff team. I did not think they were going to win the North.
I saw some stuff. I saw somebody said they were going to go 12-5, so they can get to 5 wins.
I think they'll get to.
Do you think they're going to win 6 games?
Yes, I think they'll get at least 9. I think they're going to get
at least 9. That
least
makes them a
9.
playoff team. They're not going to win 9 games.
I think they're going to win 9 games.
They're not going to win 9 games.
Let's look at this schedule. They're going to beat the Panthers.
Are you sure? Andy Dalton's a stud.
Bro, dude, I'm not doing this Andy Dalton talk right now, dude. 300
yards, 3 touchdowns.
I despised Andy Dalton when he was on the Bears.
Maybe Caleb Williams should be sitting behind him, honestly.
And I do think they have a shot against this Rams team. I don't care what.
I think the Rams are good. I think Stafford's still a stud.
I
think Stafford's still a top 5 QB in the league.
Yeah,
or top 10
that
QB.
game against the Niners was a little scary.
Plus, McVay's the best coach in the league, so.
Yeah, but I don't see where the Bears don't have a.
Yeah, pull up their schedule. Let's do it right now.
Yeah.
Do you think they're going to get to 9 wins?
Let's do
I'd bet my college tuition on the under.
Okay.
Because they're not going to beat any of the NFC North teams.
Panthers. Okay, they got the Rams.
Loss.
Panthers win. Jags win.
Dude, you can't just mark the Panthers down as a win.
Bro, yes,
I'm going
to
that game, by the way.
You are?
Yeah.
Okay, well, they'll win in your face.
No.
They're going to beat the Jags. They should.
No, they're not. I think the Jaguars can beat them.
You think that?
I think the Jaguars are going to turn it around and beat them.
Oh, my gosh. Commanders, close game.
Loss.
I think
Jayden
they
Daniels
win by
is him.
1 possession. Cardinals win. Patriots win. Packers loss. Vikings loss. Lions loss. Niners loss. Vikings. I feel like they can. No, bro. I feel like they can split with at least 2 teams in the division.
It's not going to be the Vikings, that's for sure.
Okay, they'll split with the Packers because I hate the Packers, even though that won't happen.
I just don't think that there's not enough wins for them to go 9.
Dude, they have a really easy schedule coming up.
So I don't think they're good enough to beat the Cardinals or the Jaguars.
That is insane.
I don't think they are. What have you seen from them that makes you hopeful?
Their defense?
Yeah, but who cares? They're not going to get the ball.
Bro.
They're just going to have the defense out there the whole time.
What? Oh, my God. Dude, the Bills' defense compared to the Bears' defense this year is not at, nowhere. I don't want to say nowhere close, but they're not close. And Lawrence was awful against that. You really think he's going to be able to do that? He's going to be able to become.
I'm not saying that they're bad. I'm saying that the defense is going to be out for a majority of the game because of how bad the offense is. And once defenses start to get tired, that's when they get worse. And I just think that the Jaguars do have the potential to be good. And I just don't think the Bears are very good. I think their offense is not good. Caleb Williams has one touchdown through 3 games. 2 touchdowns through 3 games.
I don't know. I don't agree with it because
you just wait until they go 5-12.
I can't do that.
9 wins is impossible.
9 wins.
I'd meet you in the middle at 7, but 9 wins is impossible.
They're gonna win 9, and when we're
9 wins would put them in the playoffs. Just so you know.
I know.
So you don't think they're gonna be a playoff team, but you think they're gonna win 9 games?
I said I think they're gonna be a playoff team.
You said at the beginning of the year. Do you think they are now?
Yes. Okay. I think they're gonna have turns.
Okay.
I'm holding out very little hope, but you know what? When they're a playoff team and we're doing our whatever number episode, I'm gonna rub it in your face.
No, that's fine. And when they're not a playoff team, I'm gonna rub it in your face.
I mean, we'll see. You know, I mean, you're a Packers fan for a reason. You know, you got some
born to hate. It's in my blood.
I mean, it's. You know,
I'm being realistic here. If the Bears were good and actually a playoff team, I would say that they are. But I just don't at all think. I'm worried. Will the Packers make the playoffs with how good the Vikings are?
Yeah, it's so hard for because so many people were hyping up last year as the year. I was like.
Every single year is the year with you guys, okay?
I know.
Let's just get that out of the way.
So many people. Last year,
people make fun of the Cowboys saying this is our year. Every single year, Bears fans are oh, this year we make the playoffs.
I thought last year I expected them to go 7, kind of where they ended. I didn't expect them to be. They just didn't have enough weapons. Yeah. The reason why people thought this year is because you improved so much on your weapons, and people. I don't know what you thought, but I thought the O-line last year was improving and young, and. You thought that would continue this year, and it hasn't.
Yeah.
So, hopefully the O-line learns how to work with each other because it's not good for I don't think it's good for my health to watch these games and like lose my absolute mind. Like I was on the bus ride home here because I went up back home this weekend, and I had to like go like yes, like make like.
You were cheering for that game? I guess they did win.
When the Bears intercepted.
Oh yeah. No, there's not much to cheer for.
There was not much to cheer for, and I was like so I could not describe to you how
they didn't win.
We didn't win.
No, that's right.
How frustrated I was when they called that pitch play.
Oh, on 4th down.
Oh
yeah.
My
I was watching that.
God,
yeah.
What are we doing?
Yeah.
Like, you take Caleb Williams out of that play instantly. Like what? He's.
They're gonna be a playoff team.
Oh my God! I can't even like. You can't do a pitch play there. You can't do a play action. He was throwing it to Komet the whole game, and you don't. Ugh.
Hey, it's all right. They're still not gonna be a playoff team.
And then you're an O lineman. Your job is to block. They don't block. All they do is there's a picture. They're 4 of them on the ground.
Yeah. It's a tough day. Tough day.
Yeah, sorry. I get very annoyed. Like
maybe you should be the offensive coordinator.
I would give me a Madden playbook and I would run a better offense than Shane Waldron. Like, who calls a pitch? If you're going to run it, just run an I formation, give it to Johnson, run it down their throat for a touchdown. Or if you're going to run an outside play, run an outside zone or something.
Yeah.
Don't do don't try and get fancy when you're at the half-yard line. I don't understand that. Like,
all right.
I feel like he's trying to get too like highlight reel almost. I feel like he's kind of buying into what Caleb was doing in the first two. I don't think he did as much in last game. But the first 2 games, definitely, he was trying to do too much Superman stuff. I feel like that's what their offensive coordinator is trying to do. He's trying to be like, oh, look at me. I can make a cool play.
Yeah.
Like, just make a smart play.
Yeah.
I'm a Bears fan. We have never had in my life a good offensive coordinator. Well, Nagy was okay in 2018, but...
All right, whatever. Still not going to make the playoffs.
Okay. We'll see. We'll see, you know? You like talking. I like shoot, what is it?
The results?
I like the results.
You want to pull up the results? Let's do it. You just lost to the Colts where the Packers destroyed them.
Dude. Okay, I hope the Bears, even though they won't, I hope they beat the living crap out of the Packers.
It just doesn't happen. It's just not in the DNA.
Okay.
Last time you beat them was 2019. That was 5 years ago.
All right. Okay. Well, we watch the games for a reason, right?
Yeah.
We watch the games for a reason.
You're right.
So
you're right.
When they play and when Caleb goes off, and I'm going to bring up the receipts, and I'm going to be like, all right, listen, y'all thought he was done. I never said that, and he's going to go off. That definitely won't happen. But,
no, he's not going to go off.
Because, he'll be, Shane Waldron will be in his head.
Yeah.
And he'll overthink and make dumb throws.
Yeah, our defense is pretty good, too, just for the record.
Yeah. I mean, they gave me 27 fantasy points. Yeah. Not complaining.
Anything else? Anything other games you want to talk about? I don't know. That Kansas City, always Kansas City, and
I was gonna say Kansas City.
That pass interference that wasn't called at the end, that was pretty bad. That was pretty bad.
It's also like I know we're going back to the Bears. Mooney has done so well. Like they were talking on the broadcast, like you didn't think that them bringing the Falcons bringing in Ray McLeod and Darnell Mooney would really open up their offense, but they've looked good. Like their offenses looked good with Kirk Cousins running the show because. Like I said with the wide receiver ones, this one I think is kind of flip-flop. You get Mooney and McLeod to kind of...
Well, and Drake London, too.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. They get open and stuff. Drake
London's wide receiver one, I think.
Yeah, so. But that's what I'm saying. Like, if you get those two guys working, Drake London will open up. Then if Drake London's not open, you got Pitts, who, by the way, is one of the most underrated tight ends. But I also think it's because they don't throw to him, so...
Yeah. That Chiefs game, Chiefs always in the controversy, obviously... I think the biggest story out of that one is Kelsey, obviously.
Yeah, he finally looked like he came back a little bit.
Well, I mean, they're just not getting the ball. It's been a lot of Rashee Rice, and then Mahomes just figuring it out, honestly.
Rashee Rice looks really good, though.
Yeah.
Hopefully that's why I know we've been talking a lot about fantasy football this episode, but I didn't take him because I was worried
he was going to get arrested.
he was going to get arrested.
Yeah, he was
or
going to
whatever.
get suspended. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And he hasn't. So
Yeah, Kelsey had 4 catches for 30 yards.
I actually had to play Rashid Rice in fantasy last week, so that was rough. But
Holmes didn't have that good of a game either.
No, he has not been like. Now
I mean,
know
he had 2 touchdowns though.
I know it's Mahomes, so he has we have a different sort of expectation for him.
Yeah.
But he's had like this.
Also, yeah, keep going. Sorry.
He hasn't had like a Mahomes sort of season so far.
Yeah.
Which I know it's unfair, but like when you performed as good as he has, you kind of just have those expectations.
Yeah. Talk about fourth down plays, trying to run it. That at the one at the end with Bijan, just tough stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know, why are you calling that? Like, I don't know.
There's so many dumb play calls in the NFL.
Yeah, but it's easy to say sitting on your couch if you don't know what's going on.
Yeah,
actually.
I know. Like, it's
down there. I always try to keep that in mind. But another good standout for the Chiefs. They always find people. I feel like they draft so well. Carson Steele.
Oh yeah, no,
he's been great. And did you know that
he's got a pet gator?
No, well, yeah, obviously, but it was like his sister's wedding that day.
And they were watching that. That's sick.
Yeah, and he was like, "Sorry guys, I can't go.
Yeah,
I gotta play the Falcons today."
Dude, that's
so funny.
I just think that's crazy too. Like, they're like, "Were you at your sister's wedding?" No, I had to play the Atlanta Falcons.
Yeah, I just had to play the Falcons. Yeah. I just don't think that they expected him to be on the.
I don't. Yeah,
honestly.
I mean, he was an undrafted. And people, not Al Michaels. Who's Mike Tirico and Collinsworth? They said on the broadcast that when they knew watching preseason games that he was going to be on the team when he would score a touchdown and Mahomes was jumping up and down. Because I feel like, yes, you can get Reed's approval, but the almighty is the dude who you're paying $50 million a year to be your quarterback. So,
can you do a good Collinsworth impression? Oh, Mike.
Mahomes.
Mike. Oh, look at
Mahomes.
Oh, Mike. Carson Steele with the bet gator. Oh,
dude,
Mike.
It's just all that dude does is relate it back to Mahomes, I feel like.
Well, him and Romo, yeah.
Yeah. But Romo's like actually, I like Romo. Romo's a good commentator.
I like Collinsworth too, though.
But I think Collinsworth just gets a lot more hate, just because Romo like can predict the plays.
Yeah. I think Collinsworth is great. I think Collinsworth is better than Romo.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I think
Collinsworth's been doing it for longer, so.
I just think my number one. I think Nance and Romo, and then I really liked Buck and Aikman, but I like them a lot more on Fox and ESPN.
Yeah.
It's just ESPN just.
They're still great. I mean, Aikman and Buck. I think they're still like the best duo. Last year my favorite was Burkhalter and Greg Olsen. Yeah.
Yeah, Olsen. That was criminal what they did to him with Brady.
Yeah, and Brady hasn't been very good so far.
No.
I mean, I thought Olsen was great. Olsen was one of my favorites. Yeah.
Olsen was because he just was like he was energizing. I feel like.
Yeah, and he kind of knew what he was talking about.
He knew what he was talking about. He didn't. I feel like a lot of NFL players when they go into the booth, it's kind of like they have a year where it's like a little shady, and then they sort of get more comfortable. Olsen just picked it up right away, which, it makes the games more interesting.
It just feels like Brady's scared to talk, honestly.
It sounds like he's nervous.
Yeah, which is weird because he's like the greatest of all time, and you're nervous about talking to a microphone. It's weird.
But no, I think right now, like if we're talking currently, I think number one is probably Buck and Aikman.
Yeah.
Kirk Herbstreit's good, but I don't really like Al Michaels. That's just me personally.
You don't like Al Michaels?
Not really.
Well, it's Al Michaels and Collinsworth.
No, it's
Al
Michaels is Thursday night.
Yeah, Thursday. Yeah, I don't watch those
Herbstreit.
games because I don't have Amazon. So.
I have it, so. But
Michaels is kind of old.
Yeah, Mike. I think
like Michaels is past his prime. I think this is his
why.
last contract. I feel like, and then he'll retire.
Herbstreit's been really good too.
Yeah,
Herbstreit's his partner, and they're really good together.
Yeah.
Well, I think I like Herbstreit. I like Herbstreit a lot because
Herbstreit was a college guy, right?
Yeah, he still does. So he does. His weekend is it starts on Thursday. It's crazy.
Yeah.
So he'll do the game. Then he's got to leave I think he leaves the next day. Then he goes to
game day.
Yeah. Then he has to do that for 3-4 hours. Then he's got to call the game.
Yeah.
And then sometimes what they did the first week was crazy. So he was in Ireland.
Yeah.
So he flew out to Ireland, and then he had to come back for Thursday night.
Yeah.
And then call another game that weekend.
Yeah.
So
pretty wild stuff.
But hey, he's pretty good at it though. So I'm not gonna I think he's probably like the Joe Buck and Troy Aikman. Him and his guy.
Yeah.
Are the Joe Buck and Troy Aikman of
college.
But is that all you want to talk about for this episode?
I don't know. Anything else? Let's.
I mean,
you're the host here, man.
I wanted to talk about NBA, but I feel like it's a little too early.
NBA? Oh, we can do some NBA. It was media day yesterday.
Yeah, I saw that.
Brandon Ingram had a new hairstyle. He looks like a woman. Otherwise, there hasn't been much stuff. The Lakers told them that JJ Redick told us the starting lineup. It was Russell, Reeves, Hachimura, LeBron, and Davis.
Yeah, that's expected.
So that's basically it. I mean, a lot of the stuff hasn't really started yet. We had Zion today saying that this is like his revenge year.
Which he says that every year. I feel like.
And Ja's saying the same stuff.
But Ja has Ja played a little because of his suspension and then got hurt.
Yeah.
So okay, that makes sense. Zion, you say that every year, and you're just
he had a great league last year. So I think this year, I actually am a big believer in the fact that he's going to figure it out this year.
Yeah, and Zion was good last year. The Pelicans were good in the playoffs.
Yeah, but not really. But
yeah,
I mean,
true. They won what the play? Did they win a playing game?
Yeah, I mean they're playing every single year. We'll see if
they're like
they
the
can
Bulls.
actually put it together. Now the Bulls don't even make the play-in anymore.
No, they're not making the. There's no shot.
Yeah,
when
Derrick
you're big,
Rose. If you want to talk about NBA, Derrick Rose retired today.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
That was the story. Yeah. I wish he would have signed with Chicago and retired.
That's what I wanted.
Yeah.
I was on social media and I saw him and I was like, wait, did they sign him? And then I scrolled a little more and it was like he retired.
Yep.
Which just doing a 1-day contract, sign him.
I know.
It just is cool.
I wish he would have done a farewell tour similar to what Dirk and
Paul
Pierce and all those guys did.
Yeah. I think what the Bulls should do, what I think is right.
Retire his jersey.
I feel like you have to. Just
for the city. Even though his career wasn't that long.
No, but how dominant he was, when I was little is when he was sort of peaking.
Yeah.
My memory of the Bulls when I was younger, one of the first ones was that one that he hit against Cleveland.
Yep.
And then where he just jumps up and stands there stone faced.
Yeah.
It's crazy. And that was near the end. That's when he was supposedly not as good.
Yeah. Well, it was the year after he tore his ACL.
Yeah.
That was the year after, So the first tear when he was on the ground.
Yeah, that one. But I just think I feel like it's right. You should retire his number. Now Ryan Sosa's a jerk, so I don't know if he will. But
no. I feel like there's going to be a riot if they don't. And he's going to be a Hall of Famer for sure, so I feel like they will.
Yeah. I think he's just going to be a Hall of Famer just because how much everyone loves him.
Well, he's just also every single MVP, I think, not required to make the Hall of Fame, but all of them do. Yeah.
Yeah. And
if you're the best player in 1 year and you win an MVP, I feel like you should.
Yeah, and just how dominant he was too. People, there are these guys that have these one random year bursts. He was dominant until he got hurt.
ACL, yeah.
But hits I think he still showed flashes. He had a 50-point game with the Tim. It's not like it ever left him. He was still.
Oh, it did eventually.
But I'm saying he was still. Yeah. You still saw glimpses even when he was older.
It was probably tough for him to adjust his game because
he was such a ball dominant kind of.
Well, it was he focused on his athleticism so much. So when he got older, it was probably tough for him to adjust and had to shoot more and not be able to jump as high.
Mm-hmm. That's old man syndrome too.
Yeah,
because your knees.
Plus, his knee gave out. So
but I feel like we'll talk more NBA within the coming weeks.
Because there's gonna be a lot of stuff coming out because of training camp and
we'll do
media day.
We'll do some picks and stuff like that.
I think Brandon Ingram's gonna get traded this offseason or this year. So
I think so too. I think the Pelicans is just.
Yeah.
I think he may be that key piece for a contending team.
Yep, I think so.
But thank you guys for listening to this episode. Luke, you got any final words?
Nope. Thank you guys very much.
Yep, thank you guys. Have a good one.